Hello guys and gals, and welcome back for another episode of the Terraria 1.2 Let's Play. This is episode 68, and today is going to be the day when we finally take the plunge and give the Frost Moon a try. I think it's about time. We've certainly spent enough time fumbling around, hoping for things to work out and get better, and as of the last episode, I feel I finally broken the wall on the Pumpkin Moon that was necessary for me to do enough damage to be able to get toward the end. I didn't actually get to the end, but I think I got to wave 14, maybe? Maybe it was 13. I don't know. I had like 3 pumpkins all fighting me at the same time, and that was about as much as I could handle. Now, you guys have definitely given me a lot of good tips and tricks of how to proceed beyond this point, and I think I'm probably going to need to employ some of them, but I'm also kind of tired of fighting the Pumpkin Moon, so I think today we'll just go ahead and throw ourselves at it. We'll see where we fall. If I can make it a few waves in, then great. If I can't, then that sucks, but we'll go back and do it again a few more times. It's not like this is going to be the only attempt we ever do for it, and as you can see, it's still kind of in the middle of the day, and that's because I wanted to show you guys that in the last interim between episodes, I actually picked up the bat, stave, staff, whatever this thing is, which I never seem to remember. Scepter. Okay, it's a scepter. Now I can actually look at it. And I went ahead and reforged it so it's superior and has the plus 11% damage, 3% critical strike chance, and plus 10% knockback. It's a pretty sweet item. It definitely has helped me out with the fight, and it's been my go-to for the most part for each time that I try the Pumpkin Moon now. And I also had you guys give me tips about how to have multiple items out, because you can apparently have one dude that's like a light source, one dude that's like a helper, and then one that's like a buff, I guess. So the helper being the Raven, who will go out and fight stuff for me. And we can also get our light source out. And as I'm sure you've noticed, it's still like the middle of the day, so we still have a little bit of time yet before it's time to actually summon the Frost Moon. I did that on purpose. So I wanted to show you I also employed the use of these actuators. So now when I flip this switch here, actually turns off this platform and now is not solid anymore, and I can actually fire through this from the platform above. The tricky thing about doing this, and I'm not really sure if there is a proper solution, but the way I had to wire it, and I guess I'll just put down my piggy bank so you guys can actually see my wiring scheme here, because I need to go grab my wrench out, is basically I've got it set up so there's the blue wire going through here. This crosses over all of the actuators. The actuators are placed on top of the actual trap blocks, and then I've got this loop here of red wire, which is going from the 2 pressure plates down and all the way around back to the other side. So that way, no matter what hits anything, it all gets triggered, and I probably don't want to be standing in the middle of it when that all happens, but you kind of get the point. So I don't know if there's actually a way for me to be able to set this up so basically just flipping this will turn off the blocks, but yet doesn't trigger anything, because the actuators need to be sitting on top of the blocks for them to change state. Hopefully you follow what I'm trying to get at here. I think there's an overlap that has to happen, and it may just not be possible. If that's the case, then no big deal. I'm probably just going to leave it like this, because it kind of accomplishes the goal anyway. The only issue is every time an enemy lands on the pressure plate, it ends up flipping things, and then the blocks go in and out of reality, and then I can't shoot through them again, which, you know, kind of frustrating, I guess. But it also, on the upside, it means that when I toggle this back and forth every 5 seconds or so, it lets me drop another stack of bouncy balls, which actually do a lot of damage. The only trouble is I can't really be doing that while I'm fighting the boss, so, you know, there's a lot of things to consider during all of this. So I think I'll go back to the house real quick and just see if there's any other items that I might have picked up that I've forgotten about. Let me grab my piggy bank, too, before I go. You guys have certainly given me some good tips also on how I need to progress for my accessories. Unfortunately, I'm going to need to do a whole bunch of grinding for some of the stuff that's still yet to come for me. Someone suggested that the best thing I do, or could do, would be to have the Destroyer emblem here, then have another Avenger emblem as another slot, and then also have the Sorcerer emblem on top of it, so that would be like, I don't know, like another 40% more damage altogether. What is this, 10? That's 15, that's 18, and then I'm imagining another, I don't even remember what the Avenger emblem is anymore. It's like 10% or something, so it's probably between like 25 and 45% total boost damage, which is pretty crazy huge. But that means for me to get another of those, I actually need to get the third of the 3, because I think I'm missing the Warrior emblem for the second time. That's the one that I was stuck on in the first time, which means I need to get more of the sacrificial voodoo dolls for my Craftman, and that's annoying. Well, a little annoying, not that annoying. I'm sure I could farm them in hell for a little while, but it's essentially farming to farm to farm, if you think about it. We're like 3 farming layers deep, and that's kind of frustrating for me, and I don't really like doing it all that much. I mean, I will do it, but I'm just saying, don't expect for me to be doing this, you know, every day or something from now on. I think the daily Terraria episodes may have to come to an end, unfortunately. Also, the views have really kind of dropped off, which sort of doesn't make it much easier. So let's harvest my glowing mushrooms. Well, we're just kind of passing time at this point. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I couldn't still be persuaded to do them daily. It's just I'm not sure there's that much left for me to do that it's really worth spending the time. Also, I keep switching out my boots. You guys have said not to use the magic cuffs anymore, which I found a little bit confusing after all of the time that was spent telling me to use the magic cuffs. But I guess, you know, can't really fight progress. And if there is a better accessory for the purpose that I am trying to accomplish here, then I guess I might as well roll with the punches instead of trying to be, you know, obstinate and prideful and change everybody's mind again. Whatever, it's just an accessory. If it works, it works. And I'm going to go look through my chest in just a second and see if there's anything else I picked up. I'm not sure there really was. All I really fought was the Pumpkin Moon, like, twice. I was pretty lucky to get the Bat Scepter drop. It's silly, though, that it happened, like, the second I wasn't on camera anymore, but what are you going to do? I still do have some more things I need to build in terms of flight capability. There's still a few more wings that I need. There's still the Paladin Hammer, of course, that I haven't picked up. And there's still a whole bunch of suits of armor I haven't crafted, as you probably saw last time. I guess I'll go back up there again just for S's and G's. Also, it's 3:17. Just want to make quick note of the time. Oh, pardon that. There's huge frame drops. Apparently, it's got to, like, load in all the textures up here or something. So, yeah, I've cleared up to here. I still need to make a few of the wooden sets from the beginning, and then we have to reorder it all. And I think there might still be a couple more ones that I'm missing, too. Apparently, this Necro helmet might be the only part of this suit that exists, but there is also the bone set that I haven't built, apparently. So I'm going to need to go back to the dungeon for a while and farm for bones, as well as some of the things I haven't gotten, like the SWAT gear, the sniper rifle, and that hammer I just mentioned, the Paladin Hammer. What else? What else? Is there anything in my accessories that I picked up recently? Oh, the Rash Necromantic Scroll. I forgot to take that because it's a material, right? I forgot to go ahead and take that and put it in and see what this can craft. I actually falsely put it in the accessories slot, thinking that's what that was. Just sort of looked like an accessory, and I think I actually have a second one, too. Yeah, I got a second Necromantic Scroll as well as I now have a bunch of Horseman Blades. And I'm collecting spooky wood like crazy. I don't know what I'm ever going to do with it. Also, did I mention I got a spooky hook, too? It's pretty spooky, but it's not so spooky that I don't want to use it. It's basically just like the one I had before, only darker as far as I can tell. I'm not sure that it really does anything different. Seems like the reach on it is just fine, and it does grapple from multiple points, so, you know, just like the Vine Whip, essentially, 3 points at a time. I like it. Oh, there's also that spider thing that I have to get, the Web Slinger. I haven't ever found a spider biome that had a chest in it, so there's that as well. What else was I doing? Oh, right, we're going to take this to our crafter and see what he has to say. So easy to get distracted in the wild world of Terraria. Okay, so this can be crafted into a papyrus scarab with the Hercules beetle, which is a thing that I already have. So I guess I might as well go ahead and do that, right? Oh, where should I bring this, by the way? Always forget where it says it. Showing recipes. Tinkerer's Workshop. Okay, I can do that. So that'll actually open up another slot. I think the beetle actually had a use by itself as well, but, you know, whatever. The less inventory spaces that I need to use, the better. Tinkerer's is which one? I'm just going to kind of walk in front of these things and see if it shows up. Oh, that's the combined stuff one, isn't it? You'd think I'd know this stuff by now. Okay, there it is. Papyrus Scarab increases max number of minions, increases damage and knockback of your minions. And problem solved. Okay, now we've got a quick Papyrus Scarab, which means that I can, I guess, build this all together into a pretty sweet summoning gear set, which is definitely going to be a goal of mine to try out just once or twice. I'll put this back for now. I still have this rifle scope, which I know can also be, I almost said ascended. I mean, that's true, but that's not exactly right. This is not Dark Souls as much as I would love to bring Demonite into things as often as possible. And these freaking mummy mask vanity items freaking drop every 3 seconds. I guess it's just because I'm hanging out in this one spot where they're always around. What time is it? Are we getting near night yet? No, still got about another 2 hours. Days pass awfully slowly in Terraria World sometimes. You get kind of used to doing stuff that kind of occupies your time during both day and night, but then all of a sudden you get to this part of the game, it's just like kind of, well, that's all there really is just night now. We've done everything else. I've also crafted, as I'm sure you've noticed, a few naughty presents. These were made out of silk, as well as, I believe it was ectoplasm and souls of fright. It was fright. It was the orange one. So I needed like 5 of those, 20 silk, and then 5 of the other thing, and then that turns into one of these. So I'm actually going to burn through my spider webs pretty fast, so it makes me a little sad I wasn't saving those a little more. But no problem, I can go back and farm for them pretty easily. It's not like spider webs are hard to come by. I often would throw away full stacks of them frequently. Also, just to show you, I did also get another ice feather. I think that dropped from somebody over in the snow biome. Not a huge deal or anything. I'm probably not going to have anything to craft with it since I already have the frozen wings. But it is nice to have it, I suppose. And I think that's about all there is to really talk about. I do have a whole bunch of rainbow bricks. Still looking forward to building a structure out of those. Did I get anything else over here? I feel like I did, but I can't remember. Oh, I got another hallowed key mold. Happened to drop the other day. I'm not sure if there's any real practical use for that, but I'm glad I have it, I suppose, in case someone else needs one. Save them hours of grinding if they want. Thank you also to everybody that's recommended, or rather, not recommended, but offered to supply me with things that are somewhat rare from their own games, but, you know, I just sort of want to respectfully decline all of those. I've chosen to do all of the work in this Let's Play completely by myself just to say that I've accomplished it. You know, it feels better that way to me. If I wanted to skip ahead of things, like, that would kind of change the whole point for me anyway. So, you know, I do appreciate the offer, but I would probably do it if I was just playing this by myself. But since it's for you guys to watch, I figure it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. Anyway, I think we're getting pretty close now. It's 6:03. I guess I can go hang out again over in the arena and, you know, grind mobs for another few moments until they show up. I also need to farm a whole bunch of stuff for potions. As you see, I'm sure, all I have with me is magic power potions, thorns potions, and a sugar cookie for the minor improvement to stats. Then we're going to switch out back to the magic cuffs again for the moment. And I could really use the max or faster mana regen potions as well. I think there's even a couple others. I don't even have Iron Skin with me. What am I doing? I gotta go back and get an Iron Skin or 5. I really do like those ones quite a bit. But there's a lot of materials that I need to go ahead and pick up more of. Even simple stuff like Daybloom that I'm just burning through pretty quickly. Since I've been making a lot of potions lately, I need to actually accrue a huge supply of some of those resources. We'll take 5, I guess. Probably not necessary, but what are you going to do? There weren't any other potions here, I don't believe. That would be useful to me. Battle potions, people have recommended that I take those in so I fight more mobs at a time. That sounds good, except for I don't want to get too far in the wrong direction and get too over-swamped with enemies. I mean, that's good. It helps deal with things faster, but I think it might actually be a little too fast for me anyway. And what other problems were there? I think really the only thing holding me back now is just doing huge amounts of damage. I really don't know, beyond those accessory improvements, if there's really much else that's going to help me out, other than maybe a couple of the drops from the Frost Moon, but I think having the Bat Scepter now is about as good as it's going to get prior to the Frost Moon drops, and I think I'm going to have to be able to get to a certain point to even get any drops from the Frost Moon. You know, I'm sure it's just as unforgiving as the Pumpkin Moon was. So, I mean, it'll take some luck. Maybe we can get really lucky and get ahead of the game and then have some good drops that'll make farming the dungeon again really, really easy. Not that it's the scariest place anymore now that I have what I have. With all the dot damage that I do, honestly, things are much, much easier than they used to be. And I think really the only thing that I worry about when I'm hanging out in the dungeon is that I just won't simply have enough just armor to be able to survive long enough without using a bunch of buffs. But I guess there's always the tortoise armor for that I just kind of forego using most of the time. Not sure why I hate that armor so much. It doesn't look that good. Feels like it doesn't really help me. The bonus to it doesn't feel all that flashy or cool. And I guess I am just a superficial man or something. I don't know. It's probably really not that big of a deal. So, yeah, we are actually past time. That sucks. Oh well. This is a first last-ditch effort, I suppose. We're going to take it and see how it goes. So, here we go. Elf Zombie and Gingerbread Man. They're on the scene. Let's get our usual turret down. We'll drop down our clouds into the pit and start things off right, hopefully, with a bunch of magnet spheres to get a little bit of extra damage in early. first wave's usually not the scariest thing, but this is the very, very first time that I've ever attempted this, so I don't actually know how bad this is going to be. I should really be shooting bats everywhere just to make sure that I get as much damage in as possible. Oh, I also need to use the crystal ball because I forget to use that about once every other time. Alright, what's this guy? The Nutcracker. Alright, we'll see how he does. I'm not sure what their attacks are going to be. So far I don't see a lot of projectiles, but I think that's going to get worse later on. Projectiles are one of the scary things for me because I really don't have a lot of ways around them. This thing looks pretty creepy. Everscream, I think they might actually have a drop for me, so if that's the case, then awesome. Oh, I think I may have just been shooting directly into that platform for a little bit, which is not going to help me out a whole lot. Looks like he's almost dead. And my MP is holding up quite well, and my heals are just fine as well. Holding out to use my buffs, I'm not sure at what point I'm going to need them. I only have so many of them. I guess I should probably pop them right now, just for the extra added damage. I might be able to grind through some of these phases a little bit faster now. Yeah, it definitely feels like I'm doing a bit more damage with that. And so far, so good. Feeling reasonably positive. These guys have 13,000 health. But I'm also taking him down like 1,000 every second or so, so that's probably not going to be the end of the world. If I can kill one of these guys every 15 seconds, I think we'll be just fine. I really have to figure out a way to block those spike balls into the pit somehow. As much as it's nice sometimes having them bouncing around for a little extra damage, I also seem to run into them much more than I'd enjoy. So if I could keep them like held in place in the pit specifically, that would really probably make things a little bit easier. I'm kind of getting far away from my arena. Let's get these guys over to me instead of me going to them. And we've had these helicopters flying around, which is a little crazy. I'm not sure what the deal is with them. I think they were shooting homing bullets at me or something, so gotta be careful when I see them around. Looks like all of my stuff is worn off. I am going to need to recast my clouds into the pit here. I think I didn't really put those in a very good spot. Oh, put the turret better. Okay. It's really hard with all these projectiles flying around to know where I'm even shooting at. And if I'm actually getting hits in and actually healing myself, because all it takes is a few moments of not getting a hit in, and all of a sudden things get a little bit scarier for you. Who's this? Is this the big guy that we're supposed to fight? Because he was kind of like sitting in the pit, taking a lot of damage for a moment there, and that was kind of making me real excited. He's about to die. I'm guessing we're going to have to fight a whole bunch of these. Alright, St. Nick looks like he's dead. We got a godly elf melter. I don't know what that is, but it sounds real good, and it's a drop, so that's better than the pumpkin moon usually gives me. I feel like I might actually be okay. I might actually be able to get some okay stuff out of this. There's some sort of a pine item that I'm supposed to get. I've heard the name mentioned a few times now. I'm forgetting what it is. Oh, Krampus. Is that the end boss? Yeah, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. That's probably not even the actual boss yet. I did look at the wiki. I just forget what everybody's name is, so I will sort that out as soon as I can. He's dropping presents again? I didn't know they could drop presents. Oh yeah, there's Krampus. Oh yeah, there's still the Ice Queen, right? She's the one that drops the good stuff. So we want to make sure we get to her at least if possible. Okay, he's dropping like cruise missiles everywhere. That's a little scary. Oh, they're turning into probably bombs, I'm guessing. I just want to make sure I'm not like in the way when those things go off or whatever they're going to do. How are we doing for damage? It seems like we're still hanging in there a little bit. Santa's probably going to go down again in a moment. Oh, he's got 4 more 1,000 health. I think there's so many other enemies on the screen right now that it's kind of taking away from a lot of the damage that I'm doing. Did he drop anything good for me this time? It doesn't look like it. Oh, I'm excited to see what this elf melter is about. Oh my goodness, we just got another hallowed mold. That's a little ridiculous, isn't it? Alright, let's put down a couple more clouds and another turret, and we'll continue. What I'm hoping is going to be a freaking massacre. I'm enjoying this so far. This is not nearly as stressful for me as the the pumpkin moon was. Pardon, my voice is just going out all of a sudden. I'm going to heal. This is seeming like a good moment to heal. And I'm just making sure my crystal ball is still going. It is. It seems like they're starting to do more damage than I seem to be able to compensate for in heals. Kind of wondering why that is, but it's probably some dumb reason. Seems to be often what's going on with me. I just sort of forget to do a certain thing, and then all of a sudden my health starts dropping faster than I can handle. No, I think we're okay. I think we're compensating again. Can we get you in this, in the pit, please? Let's knock out these nutcrackers real quick. He keeps going through the pit, but he doesn't want to hang out in there for very long. Krampus also. If you could please get out of my way, please. Alright, bats. Bats are helping. Oh, we've got 2 Everscreams now, and in addition to a Santa, who needs to go, and several choppers, this is starting to get a little crazy. I'm wondering if maybe I have slightly more time in this fight than I did in the Pumpkin Moon. I didn't look to see what the limitations were. That would be super nice if we did have a few more moments. These planes need to go. They're hurting me a whole bunch. Get a heal in again. Planes, oh my god, there's so many things. Oh, they're turning the tides on me. I can't fight them all this fast. I need more heals. I can't direct my bats that well. Oh, geez, I'm gonna die, aren't I? I'm just trying to fly around as much as possible and avoid as many bullets as I can, see if maybe some hearts pop out from my heart dispensers on either side. Look at these guys. They won't stand anywhere near these pits. They keep, well, they're standing right next to them. They're not going in. Alright, I saw there was a ton of hearts. Somehow we managed to live through that. I don't know what wave we're on anymore. There we are. Wave 11. There's an Ice Queen now. So there's our final boss, I believe, who is rather scary, and she's definitely behaving a bit like the Pumpkin. I'm going to drop my buffs back in again, because I could use the extra damage and defense. How difficult is an Ice Queen to kill, I'm wondering. Also, I need to get my cloud cast above her, because I found out this is a really good technique. You cast the 2 clouds straight up, and if you can get the enemy to basically hover right on top of you, you get a pretty big bonus from them just kind of standing directly under it. That at least worked with the Pumpkin. Ice Queen seems to move around a whole bunch, so maybe that is not quite as viable for her. Okay, so she's going to spin around a whole bunch. She died. I don't think she gave me anything, though, so I guess we're going to start over on that. Looks like most of the enemies are just mostly little guys now, which I'm totally cool with. If we could get mostly little guys and 1 difficult boss, that seems like a nice spread. The odds of that remaining the way things go, though, I don't think it's going to really be the case, especially with a total of 20 waves. I don't really know what to do with that. I'm just getting as many bats out into play as possible, and then when they all sort of coalesce in the center, wherever the boss tends to be, that seems to help me out quite a bit. The bats don't seem to dissipate, so as long as I can keep firing them, they will home in where I need them to go. Okay, we got another kill, and that healed me up again. I'm sure soon we're going to be fighting multiple Ice Queens. And I'm assuming this is also another same situation where we have to basically farm this boss a bunch of times before we have the real ability to get any real nice drops from it. If that's the case, that's a little frustrating, but I guess we're sort of used to it by now. Get another sentry in. Oh, has she despawned? I don't see her anymore, and it sounds like the music is all of a sudden changed. Crap. Alright, well, I guess that is what it is then. Looks like everybody's gone. Oh, there's an angry present here. Wonder what that's about. I thought everything despawned. Maybe he was still left over from before. And I guess that was a Krampus lying in that pit. I have to go check the wiki and see if there's other enemies that drop things, or what the over-under is on me getting those drops, and how many times it's going to take for me to farm. And so then, anyway, let's check in our inventory and we'll see what else we got. Elf Melter, I think, was about it. Yeah, it was. Okay, well, we got some more presents, which, that's cool, I guess. Which does mean, I guess, we can farm the ice or snow globes if we needed to. We also got, like, way less gold. Because every Pumpkin Moon I was getting, like, a platinum and a half, and this wasn't even a platinum, weirdly enough. But I guess I didn't make it quite as far as I had been making it frequently in the other one. So, okay, that's a flamethrower, for sure. Quite a pretty effect that it puts on everything, and I don't know how useful this is going to be in battle. What's the damage for this sucker anyway? It's godly, so it's as good as it gets. 58 range damage. I'm guessing it lights people on fire as well, which could be kind of nice. If there's any enemies around that would like to help me test this, that would be ideal. You guys want to go? I guess my turret has been taking out just about everybody that comes in expecting a fight here. Anybody around? Maybe a mummy or anything? First time I needed to fight somebody and there's nobody around. I don't know what this is about. There we go. Yeah, alright, well, it burns stuff. How about a unicorn? Does it stay on fire? It does, but it really ticks for almost nothing. It's ticking for 1 damage per. I'm gonna guess this is probably one of the not-so-great items There was still also that corn kernel launcher I don't believe I've picked up from the Hallowed Moon, or the Pumpkin Moon, rather. That's still another thing I've got to farm for. And, of course, the trophy for finishing Wave 15, which I don't know if that's going to be a thing. I mean, I'll give it a try. I'm sure I'm going to give it many more tries, actually, but I'm not all that motivated to get it. It's just a trophy, right? Just to prove our victory. I mean, I guess I kind of want to prove my victory. That thing has been a bit of a thorn in my side, as I'm sure you've noticed with the amount of episodes we've devoted to fighting it. But anyway, guys, that's going to be our first episode fighting the Frost Moon. I'd say we didn't do too poorly. I did manage to outlast everything, despite that one kind of big snag where we had a ton of helicopters chasing after us. I was pretty surprised to make it out of that alive, but I think that was largely in part to do with the amount of... Largely in part, I'm not even sure that makes sense, but you know what I'm trying to say. It was largely to do with the fact that I had all of those potions, as well as, you know, the extra added damage boosts and such, as well as also the, you know, refilling my MP, which was kind of nice. So, plans long-term, gotta farm for more of these emblems, see if I can get the max amount of damage that I can possibly do, and then just try and farm more materials to try and make more potions, and I think that's about all I can really be asked to do at this point. There's not a whole lot else, other than a few drops, that are really going to help me out long-term, so I can't even reforge most of this stuff. I think most of these items are about as good as they're going to get. There's one or two things, like my Angry Spooky Wings. Those could go to 4 damage instead of 3, or percent, I mean. This is 4, that's 4, that's 3. That can go to 4 damage, but that's probably going to get reforged, rather turned into the next, you know, Avenger emblem. And then I've got to get another Sorcerer emblem on top of that. So I don't know how many fights of the Wall of Flesh that's going to take. It might take quite a while. So if there isn't another episode in a little bit, don't be upset. I'll try and find some other stuff to fill in the blank spaces, as well as I'll continue to post stuff like Spelunky and Tower of Guns. And I was thinking of just going back and doing more Long Live the Queen off the air, because, I don't know, the stream experience was fine, but I feel like it was more enjoyable to just have it be like, you know, private, quiet time reading stories, and it wasn't quite as rowdy. I don't know. It's just my personal thing, I suppose. And, you know, I'm also considering other games that I could possibly bring in for new series, because I think we're about getting to that time. Not that I'm saying I'm retiring Terraria or anything, don't get me wrong with that at all, but that is sort of the direction that we're going to be heading in eventually. Not retiring, but slowing things down. And also, you know, it's Starbound, also a viable option. I'm waiting on the patch to come out that stops deleting saves, because that's kind of the main reason I haven't done it already. And yes, I have seen all the comments asking me to start a Terraria or Starbound series, rather, and I probably will. I'm just waiting for the time when I don't have to fear losing all my progress, that's all. So with that, I will leave you for another day. Thank you so much for watching and your continued support on the series. Let's continue to give this as much of a boost as we can, because I really do value your guys' support in making this, you know, the biggest presence, the biggest series that I've had going. So if you want to continue that trend, I will be very, very grateful, and I do hope that you'll come back for another episode as soon as possible. And of course, please do continue leaving your comments and suggestions. As I've been trying to make a big point of showing you, I definitely am listening to them, like with the actuator stuff and trying to optimize my build. At this point, the run is, or the fighting of each of the bosses is extremely detailed. All the things that you have to really optimize to get the best possible chances out of it. So I am very thankful to have you guys helping me out with that, so I probably wouldn't have figured out most of these combinations on my own. So, again, I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely night.